Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay. Vinyl finds video. I haven't shown any new stuff in ages, so I thought I'd yeah, have a whiz through some relatively recent pickups. So, but this is what I'm listening to in the background. This is Africa Must Be Free by 1983. This is a dub version by Augustus Pablo. This is on Greensleeves Records. Now, back in the summer, obviously because of coronavirus, we didn't have any record fairs locally, but we did have car boot sales. Now, I know in the rest of the UK, a lot of areas of the UK, car boot sales didn't reopen, but they did here. And I say because of the lack of fairs, a lot of record dealers started turning up at car boot sales selling. So it was actually a really good time to be buying records. So this is something I picked up from a dealer at a car boot sale. But yeah, lovely stuff, an absolute classic. So right, cool. Right, I want to kick off with a 45. So this is something I picked up just a few weeks ago. This is on the Happy People label. Now, I bought a few records on this label quite recently, and they all sound great. You know, really heavyweight vinyl, pressed loud, which is what you want from a 45. But the reason why I picked this one, it's a nice double-sider. The artist is Palmer International, and it's two cover versions. First of all is a version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, and then a version of Feel Like Jumping by Marcia Griffiths. Now, both tunes are done in a Northern Soul style, so it's that very much that sort of four to the floor soul sound. Now, the Marcia Griffiths tune in particular really works. So you don't very often hear reggae songs done in a soul style. You get it a lot the other way around. Obviously, you know, any number of great soul songs have been covered by reggae artists, but it's very rare that happens the other way around. So it makes a nice change, and I say it really works. So I'll do a sound clip on that at the end of the video. Right. Very quickly, a couple of 12 inches. I mentioned before that I bought quite a lot of reggae 12 inches from a seller at a car boot last year, and I'll perhaps do a car boot video next. I'll show some of that stuff then. But this is one of those records. Now, I don't know anything about this artist. It's Pernell Roberts. The track is Black Is The Best. Now, it must have come out late 70s, I'd say. It's a big rootsy dub tune. Now, every now and again you put a record on and you're totally blown away by the sound. Not necessarily the song, but the actual sound, the sonics of the record. Now, and this is one of those. It's, it just sounds huge. A really big bass line, great vocal. I'll do a sound clip at the end of the video, but I say when I first put the needle on the record, I was totally blown away. So this one's been played a lot recently. And just one other from that collection, a cover of Evelyn Champagne King's song, Love Come Down. This is done by Barry Biggs. Now, Barry Biggs had a big hit in the UK in the mid-70s, sort of 75, 76, with his version of Sideshow. I say this is later. This is from 1984. I say it's a cover of the Evelyn Champagne King song, but it's done in a lovers rock style, and I think it really works. Now, interestingly, it's produced by Barry Biggs as well. I'm surprised he didn't change the key, because particularly when it gets to the chorus, it's right at the top of his range. Now, it might grate on some people. I think it really works, but again, I'll do a sound clip at the end of the video, so cool. Right, again, last summer, a local shop bought in a big reggae collection, and this is from that. This is Original Foreign Mind by Junior Reid. Now, this came out in the mid-80s, a really nice roots reggae record. Now, the first time I heard of Junior Reid would have been about 1990, 91. I think anybody in the UK will know the Soup Dragons version of I'm Free, the Stones song. It's a big hit over here. Well, Junior Reid did the rap, he did the toasting in the middle of the record. But and I wish at that point I'd been mindful enough to check out his other stuff, because he made some really nice records around that time, but I'm only sort of catching up with those at the moment. But really good stuff. Great album. It's got a version of Human Nature, of the Michael Jackson tune from Thriller on it, but cheekily retitled Junior Nature. You can see that there, track 4 on side 2. And there's no reference to it being a cover version, which is normally the way with reggae records, but there you go. But again, I'll do a sound clip at the end of the video. So that's on the Black Roots label, a lovely label. And I mentioned before about this collection, the previous owner used to chop out reviews from Black Echoes magazine, and there's another one there, so that's very nice. Right, some records from an eBay seller. So this is Chairman of the Board and their album Skin I'm In. Now, Chairman of the Board made all those lovely sort of pop soul records in the early 70s, but this is a little bit different, because say it's a bit later. It's actually their last album, but it's got more of an edge to it. It's got more of a funk to it. certainly more my taste, and it's just a shame it's their last record, because it'd been nice to see them explore that sound a little bit more. But lovely stuff. This has just been reissued actually a year or so ago. Has a lot of the stuff on the Invictus label. Great label. I always pick up stuff when I see it on Invictus. But yeah, this is an original copy. It just come up cheap on eBay, so really pleased with that. And when I bought that, I looked at the seller's other items, and I just put in some offers on some. I offered £5 actually per record for everything else. So that included this. This is Small Talk by Sly and the Family Stone. An album, I don't know why I've never picked it up before. I love the late 60s, early 70s records that Sly did. So stuff like Stands, There's a Riot Going On, and particularly Fresh. That's probably my favourite Sly Stone record. And this is the album that follows Fresh, and it's just more of the same, you know. So I had it in my head that it wasn't as good, perhaps substandard, but the whole thing's great tunes. Definitely recommend that. And anybody that's any Beastie Boys fans will probably know, obviously, the Beastie Boys tune Shadrach, which samples this album heavily. So there you go. Right, okay, another record from the same seller. This is the Isley Brothers and their album Doing Their Thing from 1968, I think, on Tamla. Now this is a hits collection type thing. Now, I've got a lot of Isley Brothers records, mainly late 60s and throughout the 70s, so I don't listen to their sort of mid-70s Motown stuff that much. And yeah, this was a bit of an eye-opener really, perhaps taking a lot of that stuff a little bit for granted, particularly the opening track, This Old Heart of Mine, a song that you've heard a lot over the years. Is a big hit in the UK, as a top 5 hit. But yeah, it was just nice. It just sounded really fresh, and it got me picking out other versions of that album, of that song. So this is the Supremes, A Go-Go, and they do a version of This Old Heart of Mine as well. Really suits Diana Ross's voice. I actually think the Supremes version is the best version of that song. My copy's on Canadian Tamla Motown there. But Tammy Terrell also did it as well, about 67, 68, on her album Irresistible, and another nice version of that song. So yeah, it's funny how you get sent down sort of a wormhole when you hear something, but that's what happened to me there, right? Okay, now finally, just a few hip-hop records. I don't show much hip-hop, mainly because I'm a little bit stuck in my ways, in the sense that I do have a lot of hip-hop records, but they all tend to be from that sort of late 80s, early 90s period, that sort of golden age of hip-hop. I don't very often venture outside of that sort of time frame. So and this just highlights the fact, a local shop recently had in about 5,000 hip-hop albums and 12 inches, and I bought quite a few, but these were all a £5 each, I think. So first up, Eric B and Rakim. This is their third record, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, from 1990. Absolutely classic stuff. Their first 3 records are all brilliant, so I say for a £5, can't pass on that. Same period as well, 1990. Sex Packets by Digital Underground. Again, their first 3 albums are all brilliant. Never had a vinyl copy of this before, and just hearing some of these records, it's amazing how much they're influenced by P-Funk, whether that just be the influence or the physical samples as well that they were using. But particularly this record, it's got P-Funk all over it, as has this one, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Again, a massive P-Funk influence. You may know the tune Mr. Dobalina, which was a reasonable size hit in the early 90s, but really nice stuff. And finally, again, just a £5, the Jungle Brothers with Done by the Force of Nature. Now, I've had this album for years. I actually sold it a couple of years ago because my pressing just wasn't great. Really quiet pressing. You had to turn your stereo up to full just to hear anything. It was absolutely appalling. But yeah, this is really nice, and as I say, for a £5, just great fun. So lovely stuff. Cheers.
I'm sure my days will be lonely and my nights will be blue.